call this meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Was there any changes to the agenda?
There was, Mr. Mayor. We have one addition, and that would be item D under action items, GCRE, Melrose LLC, collateral assignment, consent assignment, estoppel certificate.
Okay. Unless there's anything else, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're on to open forum. I don't see anybody here. We'll give a second though. All right, we are on to the consent agenda. Approve the minutes, approval of the bills and purchase orders, approval of the investments. I did have one donation resolution, number 2025-33, a donation from the Melrose Lions Club on the 2023 pledge for the playground equipment in the Sauk River Park. Just want to say thank you to the Lions for everything that they do for our community. It's very much appreciated. Then there's a pay app 8 for the 2024 project to monitor. There's 2 gambling resolutions, one for the Green Grove Rod and Gun Club and the Melrose Fire Relief Association. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We're on the reports. I know the chief is away on assignments, so we're
I
gonna.
do want
Sure.
me to read out his calls real quick? I can do that if you want me to.
Yeah.
A total of 13 citations were written for the month of June. 42 were verbal warnings and 4 were written warnings. For the month of June, they received 242 requests for service. At this time last year, they were at 296 calls or requests for service. At the end of June 2024, they ended with ICR number 24201,706. At the end of June of 25, they are at 25001644. They received 15 agency assist calls during the month of June as well.
Okay. All right, Community Development Director, Sheila.
So the Planning and Zoning Commission will be holding 4 public hearings at their meeting on meeting on July 28th. Their recommendations are going to come to you at your August meeting. The hearings include a preliminary plat for the Church of St. Mary's for residential lots for housing, 2 conditional use permits, one for a billboard and one for a parcel which has multiple tenants, and a variance for a house planned in Highlands on one of the new lots. Work continues on the comprehensive plan. The steering committee has met and reviewed the chapters as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission. And on Thursday, July 10th, MATA reviewed the future land use map and talked about potential growth areas. Work continues on 406 Main Street East. I know some members have been able to go in there and tour. Woods and Irons is installing the golf simulators and they plan to open by mid-August. The employees and members of Stearns Electric will begin utilizing their new headquarters in mid-August with a public open house planned for October. The bakery is finalizing their license with the state, and we are really excited for people to get into the bakery and see all the changes they've made. It's really impressive, the amount of work that they've done there. We've worked with a resident on a grant application for some targeted brownfield assessment money. It has been approved and gone to fall funding, which is going to be good. Just trying to help people out. Again, one of our goals for the year was rehab and fixing up businesses and helping businesses kind of assess what they have. And so we continue with that work. And then also I want to extend an invitation to the City's Night to Unite, which is going to be on Wednesday, August 6th. It is regular farmers market plus. That's kind of how we take it. It's a night to celebrate neighbors, community. It's going to feature the first responders, fire, police, and ambulance. There's going to be live German music, and then the Mexican dance group from the Twin Cities from last year is returning this year. We are going to do the free desserts again, German chocolate cake and tres leche cake at the end of the evening. So we want to invite the entire community to come out for 19 night.
Those dancers were magnificent last year. I couldn't believe how great it was. Excited to have them back.
Yeah, we're excited to have them back this time without rain.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. City engineer report?
Again, I do have the report if you would like me. Dave is not able to be here. He is on vacation. However, the striping has been completed and was what the pay-up was that you paid this evening. Stearns County elected to pay for a parking line to be installed from 2nd Avenue East to 8th Avenue West as a result of the large number of residents that utilize the roadway for parking. This cost was entirely borne by Stearns County. The project is tracking about 3% under the bid cost at this time. We expect that when it's done, it will be very close to the final cost. They're hoping that the final payment will happen in August. Highland Boulevard, the final wear course was completed the afternoon of July 10th. With that being done, the project is very close to completion. There was some additional erosion that had to be placed and some other things. And so that was taken care of. The 25 project has gotten off to somewhat of a slow start, but as you can all tell, because you were not able to get into our parking lot, it has now begun very much in earnest. So they're really working hard on that one. We're hoping that the parking lot itself and the sidewalk isn't going to take more than a few weeks here. We'll see where we end up, but we're really hoping that by the first or second week in August that the parking lot at least will be complete. There is additional segments that were found along 8th Street. And so those are some minor deficiencies. So those segments were added to the project. The contractor themselves are still looking at approximately 4 weeks of construction for the project completion. And that concludes the city engineer's report.
All right, well then on to your report.
So I want to kind of just dovetail into a couple things that Sheila talked about. As she had mentioned, housing is one of our big strategies this year. And to that end, there were four residents that were awarded the first round of funding through the Stearns County, well, the Stearns County Board of Commissioners, but it was the Stearns County HRA through their Housing Trust Fund. Those applicants had to meet income qualifications, and they will be receiving funding to be able to do cost improvements, primarily weatherization types of things. So windows, siding, that type of thing. So kind of those health and safety issues. So that was exciting. We have the opportunity to have 4 of our residents take advantage of that program. The other thing I want to mention is next door, Some Like It Hot has opened its doors. And so if you have not had a chance to go over there, I strongly encourage you. Shauna and her crew do a really nice job, and they have some really good food, obviously, and some good coffee, that type of thing. So I just wanted to mention that as well. The other thing that is a concern is on, as you head out towards the wastewater plant, so as you're heading out of town towards Jenny-O, Google in their infinite wisdom thinks they're smarter than everyone. And so what they do is, because Willow Trucking goes back and forth between Jenny-O, they have created, and it's probably been there for quite a while, they have created 12th Street, not where 12th Street is, but literally through Willow's parking lot. So out-of-town semi-drivers that don't know our community, they just see that on Google Maps. And so they try and go and turn there, but they don't, they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And so then they go to 11th or 10th, and those are residential neighborhoods. We've had some issues. We had a semi hit a fire hydrant. And so we did put up a no through road, and we're getting other signs, but we want to put 2 blue, we're working with the county to get the blue signs that say Land O'Lakes and Proliant on them. So that the semi trucks will use the appropriate 12th. So I don't know if you can see that. We put some comments in there, several of us, to say this isn't a road. So anyway, I mean, we're doing what we can on that. It's unfortunate. We've let all the businesses out there know to keep working with their folks, but that's where we're at. So I wanted to mention that. We are very busy in the budget season. The staff has met and we've done a budget retreat with all the staff. We have received our second installment of, no, did we get our second installment of LGA? We got our first installment from the county for our funding. I don't know if we got our LGA, not yet. So we're still waiting on that, but we did get our money from the county, and our TIF reporting is done for the year. We do have, you know, that Jenny O, where that TIF project was, that continues to have a really healthy fund balance in terms of the administrative side. There is potentially a need to do some electrical work at Jenny O, so we may be using that funding for some of that. So we have to probably do some upgrades out there from what was done, however many years ago that was. I believe it was 18 or 19. So that's something that we're looking at, but the staff all met, going through budgets now. Just a reminder that we're gonna have our first budget retreat, which will be right before the regular council meeting. Ideally, I would like to start it at 4:30. But if that doesn't work, 5 o'clock is fine. I know that there's some interest in having Jason Murray come and talk about TIFs, so we'll see if we can get him here. And then also, I had asked the Public Utilities Commission to be part of the first bit of that meeting. And I don't know the rules, Patty, and we can talk, as far as direction goes, can we move the regular council meeting back? Or do we have to keep it at 6? Okay. So then, again, if we could start at 4:30, that would be awesome. We'll see. But otherwise, we just do it as a work session some other time, and I know you guys are kind of opposed to that. So if you want, we can do a work session, but we'll probably send a poll out here in the next week or two, and then you can just let us know what your thoughts are. So that's happening as far as the budget goes. And yeah, I think for now, that's it. I have to apologize. I'm a little out of the loop because I was out of the office for a bit, and so I'm just getting back into the swing of things. So,
All right,
thanks, everyone.
no problem. We're on the action items. So the first one is mortgage subordination. Sheila?
On April 15th, 2024, the city and Carson's Industries entered into a development agreement. In that agreement, the city agreed to subordinate its interest to the lender providing construction financing on the condition that the lender agreed to assume completion of the improvements if there would be a foreclosure. But the FBA has provided a new subordination for execution. Attorney Scott Demick reviewed the agreement. He stated that it does not include the requirement to complete the improvements, but it's okay because it is complete. We have a certificate of occupancy now. So this is just a blanket waiver of our priority in favor of the Small Business Administration. And so the action item we're requesting tonight is council to consider the mortgage subordination and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute it.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And there's that license agreement.
So on
Wow.
August 3rd, 2024, when the tornado touched down in Melrose, it caused a significant amount of tree damage. And we worked really quickly that morning to determine where to go with the brush and everything that happened. We used Riverview Road at the time, but because of the XL power line, all the debris that got dropped off couldn't be burned. And so it all had to be chipped and disposed of, which caused significant cost. Also, kind of tying into this, the city staff for a long time has used the back part of the industrial park to drop off the sweepings and all the things that they accumulate as part of the Public Works Department. So in talking with mayors about setting up an established location for brush in case of a storm, we came across also the idea of also using mayors for city maintenance throughout the year. So Colleen and I met with Bob and Sean to discuss an agreement, which was put together by Attorney Scott Demick. The agreement was in your packet. It allows for city staff to use the pit on an ongoing basis throughout the year, but then it would kick in on emergency basis if needed for residents. There's certain terms in there about if there any signage is needed, the city would have to put signage because we really want to make sure that residents go to the right place, because this is an operating business for mayors. There were a couple other terms in there. Right now, in terms of dust control for that road, we would share in the cost with mayors. Bob is here tonight to address any questions you have on the agreement, but it is something we've been working toward ever since the storm.
Okay. The one thing I have, that I just want to publicly do is, and we will treat mayors, you know, really good on this one. If there's anything on us, we take care of it, right? Nothing that, you know, we want to make sure, Bob, if we need it, we want to make sure that we take care of what we do. Everything look good in there for you too? If you know? Okay, yeah, because I just want to make sure we don't have any miscommunication with anything with our attorneys. Because we appreciate you letting us do that, especially with the storm. It was a crazy day for all of us. I think Bob and I have been through this a couple of times already. So, and, you know, you know it too, Sheila. So I just want to make sure that we do it right and treat mayors with great respect on this.
There was an entry for cameras if needed, right? If there was ever abused or something? There
Yeah,
was
we
a
could
clause in
probably
it?
look at something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know
was-
if you guys have cameras out there or not, Bob, but,
It said there was, and I think it was our responsibility if
Yeah.
that was,
It was discussed in the contract there.
yep.
Yeah. So
The t- Yeah, we'd have to, I don't know if it would be deer cameras or what, we'd have to look at that, but yeah, for sure. I think the bigger concern is not necessarily our folks, it's being very clear with the public when they are
Yeah,
using
that's,
it.
that would be my concern, is the public being courteous to the situation. Just because of, you know, even we had a concern with Riverfest, you know, with people climbing on equipment of people's stuff on property for a medallion hunt, and they're not supposed to be on these properties, so.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
liability and stuff.
Yes.
We're
So.
making sure that we are taking care of it.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everything's good, so.
Yeah.
That's good, that's what I wanted to make sure, and
was there ever a talk to expand to residents too? Because I know I brought this up to you many times, Joe, before I was on the council. That's one thing in the city I'd really like to see as a place, especially in the spring and fall, to dump my grass clippings.
yeah, and that, I know that's very hard because that's a wellhead protection. And we have to be very critical. 'cause
Understood, I'm just,
You know, and I think in our contract with Waste Management, I think that might be something we should check, because I know they're supposed to take so much, and I don't remember if it's changed a lot when Becker was, but I remember Becker's, even in storms, as long as you had it broken down to a certain, they will take it, so.
you gotta have it in a bin, and
Right.
you got 1 or 2 bins in the spring and fall when you're doing leaves.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just those 2 times, it's not a huge deal, it's just.
Correct. So, and maybe that might be something that we should put in our flyers, to let people know with certain things, spring and fall. You know, I have 2 bins, you can have up to 2 bins for free from Waste Man, or, no, I'm sorry, with
West
our-
Central.
West Central, so, I know that there's a couple times I put stuff in bags and then I just put it in the next week, you know, just to save the cost and stuff, but I just know with us, with our land, we have to be very careful with our wellhead protection, because we supply so much water in our community, so,
Understood.
yeah. But, all
So
right,
the action item tonight is council to consider a license agreement with Mayor's Excavating for the use of the pit.
So move.
Second?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. On to C, it will be for an ambulance training officer hire.
Yep, so there was interviews that were conducted. Gina Egger, Doris Reland, Nick Guzik, and Gwen Shaw were part of those interview. They were the interview panel, and this was to hire the ambulance training officer. Santina Lovelace has served in that capacity. It is a 4-year term, and when we kind of set the officers up, the idea was that, you know, give everyone kind of an opportunity to look at this. So there actually were 3 applications. They interviewed all 3. One was Santina, one was Jordan Albright, And then one was Melissa Welly, and they are unanimously bringing forward the recommendation that the council consider approving the hiring of Melissa Welly as the Melrose Ambulance Department Training Officer, effective as of 7/27/25.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We're on to D, GCRE Melrose LLC Collaborative Assignment Consent to Assessment Estoppel Certificate.
Yes, this was the addition to your agenda tonight. So Granite City has completed construction of Wabagon Crossings. They are now shifting from a construction loan to long-term financing. This is really the same thing that Carson's Industries did a couple of agenda items ago. The attorney representing their lender has provided documents for execution by the city to finalize the financing package. New city attorney Joe Kruger of Quinlivan and Hughes has reviewed the documents and found them to be satisfactory. The assignment of the TIF agreement is allowed in the development agreement and the TIF note, and the TIF note, you finalized at last month's meeting. MATA is looking at having a special meeting next week to approve the same documents. MATA is being included because originally MATA owned this land, and so Freddie Mac is requiring MATA to also sign off. So the action item tonight is council to consider the assignment, consent to assignment, and estoppel certificate, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the documents.
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. There's no old business, no new business. There's some informational items, Public Utility Commission meeting minutes, schools, conferences, city clerk license coordination recognition for Patty for being here for so many years. We appreciate you being here, Patty. Also, we had 2 streets workers. Keith Dubmeyer just completed his 10 years of service. And also, Bill Reeland is 25 years of service. I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for being with us and helping our community grow. So with everything else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, meeting is adjourned.